Today I'm making homemade buns for burger, chicken, sandwich, you know, whatever you want. So what you're gonna need is 400 grams of all-purpose flour. That is equivalent to about 3 cups of flour, 1 egg beaten, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. I have 1 cup of warm milk here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add 8 grams of yeast to it. That is equivalent to 1 3/4 teaspoons of yeast. So I added 1 3/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast to my 1 cup of warm milk, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the 2 tablespoons of sugar and give that a good mix. While for my yeast, I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of salt to my flour, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in. You don't want to put the salt in with the yeast and the sugar because it will kill the yeast. Now that the yeast is alive, once it starts making bubbles and starts forming a foam on top, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2 tablespoons of melted butter and my 1 beaten egg to that and mix it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and combine it with the flour and the salt. I'm just gonna use this. It didn't take long. It took about a minute of me mixing with this to get this consistency. So I needed it for about 6 minutes in the bowl, and it's still a little bit sticky, but that's okay. You just want to have this soft consistency. Now I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it over to my floured surface. So I shaped it into a ball, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut it with this. I got this from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. I'm gonna cut it into 6 even parts. I'm gonna try to cut it in 6 even parts because nothing I ever do is even. Like making it into like triangles. Okay, so now I have 6 parts. And from here, I'm gonna just tuck it into itself. Like that. And then you just want to, if you ever made dinner rolls, it's the same. You just want to form it into a ball like this, and so you have a nice, looks like a little ball. What they look like, I'm going to go ahead and transfer them over to a baking sheet with parchment paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover them. So now it's been 15 minutes. These are what they look like. I have 1 egg that I just beat here, and I'm going to go ahead and brush it on top of each one. Now this is optional. Oops, damn. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna add some sesame seeds to just half of them because my kids will be like, ew, what is that on it? I'm not gonna eat it. So I'm just gonna cut it on half, and then I'll leave the other half like that. And I'm preheating my oven to 375, and then these are gonna bake for 15 minutes or until golden brown. Like, go ahead and clean up while your bread is baking. The only thing I'm using is a Scrub Daddy and some of this pink stuff that I absolutely love, and it helps take all the grease out of this. These are really hard to clean. If you have one, you know. It took exactly 15 minutes for these to finish baking. I transferred them over to a cooling rack for them to cool. But now that they've cooled down a little bit, you can see how soft they are to touch. Look at that. Delicious. And again, if you make these ahead, you can freeze them, and they freeze really well. And then pop them out, you know, the day, in the morning or the night before you're going to use them. And it took about 45 minutes from start to finish to make these. So it's actually a pretty quick recipe. And I'm saying quick because if you make bread, you know how long it could take. So 45 minutes to me is a quick recipe.